Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. It's time for an update. Updates are coming through so quickly at the moment, and I'd like to share it with you. So we're going to get straight into it. And what we're going to start off with is realizing that all physical health problems, every single person's physical health problem, originates from your consciousness at that level. Okay. And what we're finding with where we're moving and we're evolving the way that we're doing healing here at Truly Holistic is that we need to evolve the consciousness. It's actually a universal law that everything needs to evolve its consciousness. The consciousness is the vehicle for you to grow and evolve. Okay? And as our consciousness grows and evolve, we can get it to a level where we don't need to focus on our consciousness anymore, and because it's impossible to let your mind take your focus away from you. It's going to be locked into your heart, okay, which is all talking about being present, being in the now. And how many times I talk about this, right? But to fix the physical, we need to fix the consciousness first, okay? Because what's been happening is our consciousness or other consciousness has been manipulated, okay? And when our consciousness has been manipulated or other consciousness have come in to manipulate the physical form, which we call an interface, then it doesn't matter what you can do. And that's what we see. That's what we see with a lot of health professionals in regards to the energy community, is that we do a clearing and it comes back, right? Or it remanifests itself. What remanifests itself because we haven't gone deep enough to clear the problem, and the depths of the problem are in the consciousness, okay? So we need to clean everything out there at that level, and we'll get to a plane of existence or an evolution in your consciousness where the focus doesn't have to be evolving or ascending your consciousness anymore. We can come into reprogramming this physical form or this interface. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so what has come forth is we're going to, once we get to this place, this place of new ground, breaking new ground, as I've just mentioned, is we're going to call, it's going to be Ascension consciousness, or the consciousness of Ascension, okay, what they're calling it. And so it's going to be once we've ascended to a new plane of existence, and at this point we're calling it Density 7. So quite a while ago I was told that, because I've been working with densities, calling them densities, not dimensions. For some reason, again, which we changed the terminology of things that are current, okay? And you would have seen that and we're going to talk about in this video, dropping the old systems and bringing in the new, okay? Whether that's geometry, whether that's the way we look at the structures of the body, emotionally, physically, energetically as well, that have all been bound to a reality based on duality or facets of duality. And we're moving past that now. We're going into neutrality, and we're going to talk a bit more about that. Don't want to get too ahead of myself. So I was told quite a while ago that time when we actually are in the thick of ascension, where we've essentially ascended, is when we shift from density 6 to density 7. And now this time is coming. Okay, this time is coming. In fact, I've had guidance to tell me that I have moved from density 6 to density 7. And some of my clients who have worked thoroughly in regards to their journey, in regards to elevating their, and ascending their consciousness, not only with doing clearing work, but them buying a lot of these products that use these Cubit measures, which was with the focus of evolving their consciousness. Okay, and that's these Cubit measures and working with tensor technology has worked wonders. Okay, it just takes things to another level. There's no doubt about it, and I'm seeing it not only with myself, but I'm also seeing it with my clients that have incorporated that technology into their life. Okay. So essentially what it said was our backups are all Ascension now. Okay, and I'm going to explain what it is. we're essentially using the new terminology of DNA and RNA, which is coding, remember, and your genome and your genetics is a backup, okay? And essentially what we're doing is we are realizing that this reality is a simulated reality, and very much the reality of what we see on the interfaces such as our computer, our iPhone, our iPad, is it's built up on programming, right? Okay? And what we do with the files on your phone or your files on your computer is what do we do? We back them up, right? We store all those files, so if something goes wrong or something happens, we can restore them. Okay, it's like the progenitor of that data. Okay, just like the way we'd see a stem cell is the original cell, the progenitor cell, right? So what that means is that your data, your energy, and looking at this form here and this reality is a database of coding, okay, which is a simulated reality, right? The ultimate interface, when we look at screen appliances, our phone, and we're in amongst that all the time, aren't we? We're looking at our phone, we're looking at screens, we're looking at a TV, we're looking at a computer. These are all interfaces. The ultimate interface is the human form itself and the eyes into this reality, this external world or reality. Okay? So, what we're saying here is that all the manipulators that have distorted your perception of this reality, a simulated reality, are completely gone. So all the files, all the data, the energy, that what makes up you is fully connected to your source self, your true self, to Ascension. Okay? Because Ascension, remember, is personal growth and evolution back to your true form, when you have no manipulations whatsoever. Okay? So when we achieve that, we are completely locked. Our consciousnesses are locked to in the mode of ascension, which means growth and evolvement. So hence, we don't need the awareness or focus to keep ascending our consciousness. We can start to think about how to reprogram this form and create the reality that you've always wanted. How cool is that? Because we keep getting told we are the creator, we have the power. But when we've been manipulated by hidden hands and programmed to such a degree that we couldn't express our full capabilities. But it's coming, okay? This is pretty exciting stuff, okay? So consciousness will be constantly connected to ascension, growth and evolving itself, okay? Which is where you want to be, right? The things that you want to achieve in life you're gonna be veering towards it instead of taking one step and always having to take 2 steps back. Okay? I had a client today who's just, is fed up of having to keep clearing stuff out just to survive instead of thriving and wanting to grow and evolve themselves, right? So this is the way forward. So a big chunk of that is letting go of the old. Okay, so I'm gonna say a list of things of what I consider the old. Chakra systems. We need to let go of it. It's not important anymore. Where we're going in regards to evolving ourselves, in regards to neutrality and removing all facets of duality, is we need to let go of the chakra system, okay? And we need to let go of the idea of a kundalini awakening, okay? Again, it's an old system, which again was bound to the reality of duality, and this duality reality was a reality where we were being manipulated, hoodwinked in so many ways, and we need to let it go. If we want to be free, okay, from these manipulative consciousness or beings or entities, any way you want to call them, okay, or demons, is we need to let go of those systems which that was used to limit us, because the whole idea of the facets of duality, so, soul limited us, okay? Because the soul is a recycling mechanism which was created by another consciousness to control us, okay? The soul, karma, conflict, what good does conflict do to us? Conflict is everywhere. And the ultimate conflict, actually, in the idea of duality, and we've been working with that with clients lately, is man and woman, female and male. How many times I have people come to me that are having issues with relationships, and because they're trying to figure out how a man works, or how I can't figure out how they think because they're different to us, and vice versa. A male trying to figure out how do women think. Well, the whole answer to that is we're never supposed to figure that out. We just need to understand that we're both different and accept that. Okay? So that's a neutrality perspective of that. Okay? Now, the pineal gland activation. Old. Again, it's old. It's not needed. Okay? What is needed is to be heart-centered. Okay, that's all it is. Let's simplify everything. When we start off wanting to get into the whole spirituality, the consciousness thing, we're looking, what are these common things that come up? You have to activate your pineal gland. It's calcified. You need a kundalini awakening. You need to clear out your chakras, keep them open. How many times we hear that? Okay, but we're not evolving from that. That was a place and time we needed to. There was a place and time we needed to do that. It's not now. We need to push on from that. Just like we look at geometries, the flower of life and all those geometries, even the pyramids, they've been around for thousands of years. They had their place, but we need to shift on. We need to move on from it. Because if we're going to ascend, we need to evolve and grow. And we grow and evolve by letting go back of the old and enabling the new. Okay? So the new is anything that's heart-centered, okay? Anything that has been gravitated or drawn by the mind is not the right way forward. That's the way going back. If we want to go forward, it has to be heart-related. Okay, same with a challenge or a conflict that you may be involved in or have to be part of. To get out of that, to get out of that situation, we need to be heart-centered. We don't fight fire with fire. We douse the fire with love. Simple as that. Okay? So, essentially what this means is we need to let go of the world we thought we knew. The world that was taught to us. The world that was told, we were programmed to think what the world was. We need to let it go. Okay? We need to start anew. Okay? And at the moment with Ascension right now, coronavirus and this whole thing with the pandemic or whatever you want to call it in regards to this world thing was supposed to happen. It had to happen. Okay? And it's giving us a chance to reflect and start anew. Okay? Change. Okay? Adaptability. Okay? So, facets of duality. We need to let it go. Okay? So, as I said, I've already talked about that. We need to replace it with the facets of neutrality. And the facets of neutrality is ascend, okay, so grow, okay, which is source, okay. So we replace soul with the facets of duality. We replace it with source, okay, which is to ascend to our true self, to become our true self. So not what people telling you the way that you should be, or the way you should think, or as a man, this is how you should act. No. Go within and listen to what your heart's telling you to be true to yourself, be individual, okay, and just love that, okay, and trust that, okay. So that's what that's all about. Love, okay, because conflict, which was part of duality, was all about creating fear. The polarities are fear and love, okay? So what you're going to see is polarity differences in between to neutrality and duality. So all of a sudden we want to bring in more love, okay? And love, what's the organ that is always associated with love? Valentine's Day, the heart, right? It's glaring us right here, but if our mind's going out there, we have no awareness of it, right? Okay? Another facet of neutrality is consciousness. But not the collective consciousness like duality, your individual consciousness. Because how many times, let's use this example, when we're looking for love out there for somebody to fill a void in our life in regards to love. No, you need to fill the void yourself because you need to love yourself before you can love anybody else. How many times we're seeing with relationships, with marriages breaking down? It's not working. Marriages are not working. People at an alarming rate are getting divorced or separated because they're not putting the work within as an individual, okay? And if you're not doing the work as an individual, it's going to suffer when you're with someone else. Simple as that, okay? So far, facets of neutrality: to ascend, to grow, evolve individually towards your true self, source, to love instead of to fear, choose love instead of fear, okay? We're going to talk about why you go to fear. It's mind-orientated. Love is heart-centered. Working on your individual consciousness, not the collective, okay? And the last one is to heal, okay? And as I say, when we get to that density 7 level, the focus is not about evolving your consciousness, because that's done. It's about now transforming this form, working and healing the physical body, okay? Which is really at the at the DNA genetic level. It's coding. It's a database of coding, okay? And we use the word backup, okay? So our we get an evolved consciousness that evolves to density 7, as I've said, okay? And which removes all the unwanted coding, programming, okay? Not only the programming we've been forced to run through as children, schooling, all this sort of thing. We're programmed to think in a way, in the same way, but all this stuff that's happening energetically, within your consciousness, from other consciousness, other entities, all this sort of thing, we call it unwanted programming, DNA, RNA. It's essentially backups, okay? If we just put that all into a lump sum, okay? And then what we do is we replace it with, and people that are doing sessions with me will know this, we replace that stuff with an Ascension backup, your true self. So let's look at this. You're a database, right? And we're taking files out, okay, which were never supposed to be there. We remove it. So this is a consciousness that's trying to program your form to respond and work in a way so therefore they feed off your energy like a parasite. We remove that out, and we put a piece of you back in, so that eventually, the summary is that we completely have a form or a database that is truly you without manipulation. Okay. So I like to use the analogy a bit like putting a puzzle together. You have all these pieces of the puzzle. Okay. And what's going to make up your true self is putting all those pieces of the puzzle together. Then it works holistically, okay? Okay. But what's been happening is there's been pieces of puzzle that's been from another puzzle set. Okay, let's say the archons, the reptilians, or another consciousness that's been put in you, and it's been lodged into an area, but as we know, it's not going to fully connect. And it creates a problem. That's essentially what autoimmune conditions are all about. Okay? Then at the physical level, the body attacks itself because it knows something shouldn't be there. But it all originates in the consciousness and your energy body. Okay? So it's very much like that. Okay? So what's going to happen is we're going to become the creator that we're always supposed to be. Okay? And once we get to density 7, Cubit measures, which we've been using here at Treaty Holistic Tensor Technology to evolve your consciousness, we're going to start to use Cubit measures to program this interface to become stronger, to think smarter, to have more endurance, have more speed, manifest at will. It's endless. And I can see, and we're already starting to do this with clients, is there's gonna be a time when you get to density 7, when that consciousness is fully evolved, the manipulators are gone, that we can bring in an individual Cubit measure for you for the things that your physical form needs, your interface needs to heal itself. As I say, that's one of the facets of neutrality. Okay? Now, as I say, being heart-centered, okay, means looking at you as an individual, okay, as your awareness needs to be brought back to you, okay, because when we are being governed by the mind, a dangling carrot out there, let's say the media or whatever, someone's telling you the way the world is supposed to be, and your focus is at that, you forget about the awareness here of yourself. The word consciousness comes from awareness. So if you have no awareness and your consciousness sits here, you cannot grow or evolve consciousness. You can't. Okay? So when we work on ourselves, then we can indirectly transform a collective. Okay? It's not the other way around. Never has been. And what we're seeing is things breaking down in our reality, including relationships, marriages, where they get separated and divorced, because we've done it the opposite way around, where we're focusing on a collective, so a couple, instead of an individual. You've got to work on yourself as an individual for then that to rub off positively in regards to a collective or with being with someone else. Okay? So what we're doing here is we're relearning true communication. And that true communication is intuition when heart-centered, because there is a universe or a path through that heart within you that connects to your higher self, your source self, your true self. And you can only dial into that when your consciousness is here, not in the mind. Okay? And you use that, you'll use your wisdom, which is going to direct you where you need to go in life. Okay, because a lot of this information just comes through intuition for me. I don't need to go to sources to find this information. It's going to come to me at the right time. And the other thing is listening to the body through feel, not overthinking things. Again, mind-orientated. Sit within the body, listen to the body. Symptoms is the way the body communicates to you. So it's not a bad thing, symptoms. Sensation, like pain, inflammation. It's communication, okay? We can throw an anti-inflammatory or a painkiller down to numb that communication or that sensation of pain, but it's going to find another way to communicate to you because you're not resolving it. You're not facing up to it. And a lot of people out there are not facing to what's happening in here. And you need to. If you want to really grow and evolve, you need to face yourself, whatever's in here. Okay? So it's all heart-centered and not mind-orientated. Okay? So just remember that. Now, let's even look at the word common sense. What word's in that? Sense. Do you know what sense is? It's feeling. It's a feeling. Okay? So common sense comes from feeling. Okay? Feel. Not overthink. Not think. When we overthink and we think, common sense goes out the window. Simple as that. Okay? We start to analyze things. We become to, like with the whole thing about DNA and RNA and genes and genetics. Do you know why it's put like that? So it sounds so advanced and so complex. I don't know that. I'm going to leave that to the expert. Because let's simplify what that is. That's coding. Full stop. Coding. DNA, genes, genome, RNA, it's coding. So what we do here at Holistic, we call it a backup. Simple as that. That's the new terminology because it's simple. Okay, when we get into the complexity of how they're trying to box it up to us and reshape this, the DNA and the RNA and all this stuff, there's a gene for this, gene for that, gene expression. Well, all of a sudden, our consciousness goes up to here and then we lose the plot. We do. Okay? Let's keep everything simple. Keep everything to common sense. If something is resonating to you and it makes common sense, it's usually good. If you're not using common sense, you've taken the wrong choice, wrong path. Okay? Now, so what I've found as an energy healer with all my clients, so many clients I've seen so many years, including myself, including people around me, my friends and stuff, is a common thread, and that's this. I find that people that get the most out of the sessions, when they do energy work in sessions, are heart-centered. Okay? So if you want to do less sessions or you want to be empowered to be the healer you want to be, because we all have the capabilities of it, is you need to be heart-centered, okay? The people that I find, what we find that we're hitting walls, and we're finding it very hard to get the response out of people in regards to healing, is because they are more mind-orientated than they are heart-centered, okay? And that's what I boil it down to completely, if we want to simplify it. Because the mind can unravel anything. You can do healing on yourself, and then all of a sudden, if you become mind-orientated, then you unravel all the healing that you've done. Because who's the most creative? Who's the most powerful creator out of everything? You. And your choices, or where you place your focus and your intent, can either sabotage you or it can heal you. And you can do anything in your life, achieve anything in your life. All comes down to whether you want to choose to make a decision through the heart, through feel, or be orientated with the mind and overthink things. Simple as that. So as I say, there's going to be a lot more Cubit measures coming. There's no doubt about it. As I said, letting go of the old is again letting go of old Cubit measures. Thank you, Slim Sperling, for bringing us awareness to tensor technology. We're standing on the shoulder of giants. That's what people would say. But what about we can be the giants? We don't need to be on the shoulder of him. He showed us the way. We need to evolve it and grow it even further. Okay, same with the geometries. Frank Chester did a great thing with bringing a new geometry through in regards to the Chesterhedron, the seven-sided form. Hey, we're going to density 7. Wonder if there's a coincidence there. I think there is. It's a seven-sided form. We're going into density 7, okay, in regards to ascending. Okay, so there are going to be new Cubit measures coming. Cubit measure anchors frequency in. So there are always going to be, if you want something in your life, well, anchor the frequencies in that's going to activate that. Do you know what does that? A Cubit measure. A Cubit measure. So at the moment, the current world events, I know this video is pretty long, but there's a lot, this is very interesting stuff and a lot going on. Current world events are challenging our response capabilities. It's a challenge. Okay, it's a very big challenge, but it's a challenge affecting the sum population on this planet. It's a bit like we as individuals, we come up against challenges in our life, okay? We need to understand that a challenge is something that we can learn from, including what's going on at the moment globally, okay? And I've been told that in regards to this Ascension process, this had to happen. This was always going to happen, okay? So it's nothing to be fearful about. And we can, and at the moment, there's two sides to what's going on in the world. And I'm seeing a lot of people saying, hey, martial law, okay? The military are taking over, okay? And we can choose to think that, which I think is very mind-oriented, because we're thinking about what may happen. What may happen. That's not being in the now or being in the present, is it? It's your mind overthinking things and thinking this may happen. And then your power goes into manifesting that. Okay, so we can choose that, or we can choose that this is a great opportunity while we're all isolated to spend some time on ourselves, to resolve what's in here that we've been avoiding. Looking back on ourselves, working on ourselves, because that is the way forward. As I say, we need to evolve our consciousness, and evolving our consciousness starts with going within, working on ourselves. Okay, and if you want to heal your physical problems, you need to do that. That is part of the deal. Okay, and this isolation is trying to create people that haven't got there yet to figure that out. Okay, so it comes down to response. Okay, we can be at ease, or we can be at unease. And when we have unease, that manifests into dis-ease. Okay, dis-ease. That's where that word comes from. Okay, now what I'm seeing with the people that are freaking out about coronavirus currently and the world's events currently at the moment is because essentially they're afraid of death. If we break it down simple, again, we're trying to break everything down simple here, is that they're afraid of death, okay? Because what we know with the consciousness spirituality, we get to learn that it's part of the journey. Okay? Death is not the end. So because we know that we've got more of a journey to go ahead, and the work that we do here we can take with us, and then have sovereignty in knowing where we go next, and we choose where we want to go next instead of that soul trap, why would we fear death? Okay? So a lot of the people that haven't done the work with consciousness, they're finding these vibration frequencies of ascension too much to handle at the moment. And part of it is also this whole thing about the programming of death. They've been programmed to fear death all their life. Okay? And a lot of people think, okay, coronavirus is going to kill people. Well, what's actually happening is majority of people are not dying when they get coronavirus. They shrug it off after a few days. Okay? So nothing good comes from fear. Okay? And just use that as a rule. Okay? If it doesn't make sense to you, let it go. Common sense. Because a sense is a feel thing. The feel thing is the heart thing. The mind does not feel. Heart is. Okay? So the challenge is with the coronavirus is, do we choose to fear it or to go with it? And what I'm seeing with the people that are freaking out, we're also seeing the people that have done the work consciously, they're becoming more loving. So we're seeing a complete polarity of it, or extremity of both sides of the camp. Okay? When you go with it, you go with the flow. Okay? What we know as an energy practitioner, we have problems when our energy's stuck. Because we get in the way of it, our mind gets in the way of it. When we're heart orientated, we go with the flow. Go with the flow, heart, blood, cardiovascular system, blood clots, thin blood, thick blood. Okay, so there's a lot of relevance with this, okay? So, I hope you really enjoyed this this video, and I'll be posting more. There'll be so many more updates. Please comment below and tell me what you think of this. And if you want to book a session with me, go to trulyholistic.net. We're doing some wonders in regards to the energy. Use the best of this energy, what we're currently going here to really work within yourself, and we can definitely help you getting yourself on that path and helping you along the way here at Truly Holistic. Till next time.